This fucking volume. So the Band of the Hawk finally realizes that Griffith is not going to be saved. He's not going to be revived, recovered, whatever. And now they have to decide what they're going to do from this point forward. Judo wants to create a thieves guild or whatever, bring Griffith with him. He tells Guts to take Casca with him. Guts, his underlings from the Raiders decide they want to go with him as well. But meanwhile, we still see Griffith noticing that Guts and Casca are still somewhat together. And as he's laying there, he sees himself and he takes a caravan with horses and leaves. And in the process, he coincidentally winds up in a lake, a pond, whatever. And he gets stabbed in the throat and he finds a crimson baylet. Which kind of was coincidental, but it's all fate and destiny, as Zod said. He said, regardless, the baylet will return to your hand because it is meant for you. And he finds it, and this in turn awakens the Eclipse. Now, this volume, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm just ready to rip into volume 13 and continue reading this amazing story. Because honestly, I want to see what the hell's going to happen. The implications of Griffith's desires and dreams have now caused him to sacrifice his entire Band of the Hawk. Everybody. Casca, Corcus, Guts, Pippin, everybody. Judo, and they all have brands of sacrifices, as we've seen Guts had in the beginning of the series. I really love seeing Griffith's backstory. His desires and seeing more of him, and that one God hand saying, this is your desires. This has been in your conscious realm the entire time. You always had corpses of your allies. You always trampled over them. You always trampled over the map. Tens of thousands of corpses that your allies and your soldiers, amassed for you. And what's any different now? Why is it different now? And basically they coerce him into sacrificing his Band of the Hawk now. Because he's been sacrificing corpses forever. Ever since he started his dream, his journey to get to become a king and have his own kingdom and castle and everything. So what's the difference now? You know what I'm saying? And, I can't even say that they coerced him into doing it because this is his desire. This is what he wanted all along. And he says those words. He says sacrifice, and they all got the brands of sacrifice. And what I really was surprised at was Griffith finally realizing what Guts truly is to him, and kind of turning to that dark side, saying, out of tens of thousands of soldiers, etc., etc., you're the only one who made me forget my dream. And that's when he decides to sacrifice the whole Band of the Hawk. Almost saying he was taken off his course. He was thrown off the road, to his dream because of Guts. Meanwhile, Guts looks at him as, a friend, but as he's lying there and he's trying to get the Guts as he's in that womb, in that incubation chamber type thing, and all the apostles are eating and feeding on the sacrifices, which are the Band of the Hawk, he stops and he thinks to himself, after thinking about, what Griffith has said in the past about, asking if he was cruel and everything else, is this what you really wanted? And Guts is starting to come to terms with, this is his desire. This is Griffith's desire. Just absolutely crazy. I'm fucking I don't even know what to say. He sacrificed the whole Band of the Hawk for his dreams. Just to have a castle, to have a kingdom. But now he's going to fly in the sky as a god, but technically a demon. We also learn that the Crimson Baylet is a different type of baylet. Unlike the others that the apostles used. It's the Crimson Baylet. It is the Eye of the King. And it chose Griffith. So, from the moment, it chose Griffith, it was destined for him to become a God Hand. He had the feats and the capabilities and the desires to become a God Hand. So we learn a little bit about that it was a different type of Baylet than the other apostles that we've seen during this eclipse. As always, the artwork is incredible. I listened to this while listening to... I watched this while listening to Man O' War. We've seen, the Band of the Hawk, members being eaten by these apostles once they took their demon form, because now they have the brands of sacrifice. But still, Guts, as always, struggling and fighting to get to Griffith, not allowing these apostles to get near him. You know, at one point, he's holding on to Griffith, and Griffith lets go and whatever, and he starts stabbing into the wall of faces and corpses to climb up to where the altar is, where, you know, Griffith is going to become a god hand. Even stabbing into the incubation chamber, the womb, to get to the child of darkness, you know, and then he just stops and says, "Is this truly what you wanted?" Just absolutely incredible. This dude, Kentaro Miura, knows how to write a fucking story. A dark, gritty, demonic, disturbing, despair fucking ridden story. That is what he knows how to write. And I'm absolutely enthralled by what's happening. It's just sad that I don't have more time to read these volumes and read the other manga I have. But today I might just have to go into volume 13 and do another video for this, because this absolutely has me at the edge of my seat. It's just crazy. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see Griffith become Femto, or Femto, whatever the fuck his name is, Femto, I guess. And how I want to see how Guts survives. I want to see if Casca or any other people survive. I hope Corcus dies. I don't like Corcus, but whatever. But, just crazy. Also, on a side note, the one demon hand that has, you know, like the wings and shit, and it's the only female demon hand. On her chest, like plate underneath her chest, she has a cock, and I didn't notice that in the beginning of the series. I didn't notice she had a cock, like in between her tits, like going up towards her tits. And somebody mentioned in the comments section at one point that they have a theory that these gods' hands represent one of the 7 deadly sins, and I could possibly see that. She might be lust, because why would she have a cock on her chest, you know, on her armor? And maybe one of them is gluttony, another one is envy, one of the other ones is, you know, greed, things like that. So it'd be cool for me to read more of this and maybe do a theory on the god hands, you know, concerning the 7 deadly sins. And obviously I got that idea from one of my subscribers who commented on one of my earlier videos. But I'm only on 7 minutes here, and I feel like I touched all the bases that I wanted to talk about in this chapter. Oh, Rickon. I believe that's his name. Rickert or whatever. He's heading to where his friends are. And he gets there, and he sees like a whirlwind. And then he sees Zod and the Skeleton Knight standing at the base of this whirlwind, almost like they're about to fight. I wonder what exactly is going on between those two. Maybe Zod came. Maybe this is how Guts is going to, you know, survive the battle, because Zod helps him because he wants to continue fighting Guts because he feels Guts has potential or something. I don't know. Also, we finally get to see Puck in the Golden Age arc. And I kind of put 2 and 2 together that he might have been with Judo at one point, but I guess, I guess Rickert is the one that actually met Puck before Guts does. And we learned that he, you know, Rickert was scared of Puck because obviously Rickert was the one that dealt with, you know, seeing these apostles at one point, and he seen the people that he was with get eaten. So he's scared of supernatural things like that. So he's scared of Puck. And Puck is talking to a fortune teller, and apparently the fortune teller is seeing different stars like the Rago star and some other stars that are part of ancient legend. And she says that there's an ominous, you know, something crazy is happening. It's going to engulf the whole world and change the whole world, basically. And Puck says, well, shouldn't we stop the kid? And she's like, no, he's going to play a crucial part to this. And it wouldn't be our right to do so if it's going to affect the whole world like this. So I'm curious to see what kind of role Rickert's going to play, if he truly is going to play a huge role. Maybe somehow he rescues Guts or something. I don't know, because we all know Guts survives this ordeal. How? I don't know, because they're in like deep shit right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how Rickert plays a role, what's going on between Zod and the Skeleton Knight, and just how Guts survives and who else might survive as well. Do they all get sacrificed? Is Guts the only survivor? You know, does Griffith let Guts live because deep down inside he knows Guts was a true friend to him? What exactly is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? I just might read the next volume right now while this video compresses and uploads to YouTube. But that's all I really have for you guys. I know it's a little short for Berserk reviews. People said they want it longer, but I feel like this is the perfect mark. 10 minutes. Nothing above 10 minutes I feel is good for reviews, at least for my style. But feel free to hit the like button if you feel I deserve it. Should I read that Chapter 13 greatness coming up? People told me it's crazy. Subscribe if you want to see more Berserk volume reviews, because I will be continuing these even past the Golden Age arc. Also, I do other manga and anime reviews as well. So hit that subscribe button if you want to support me and check out my content. I'll catch you guys in the next Berserk review.